Welcome to Quick Rip. Big B here with you. Hope you're doing well out there, fight fans. Hey, we had BKFC 49 just end moments ago. Went down here Friday, August 25th, live from Miami, Florida. Yeah, Squared Circle hit Miami once again. Headlining the event, we had a welterweight championship bout between Gogo Slaveski as he was taking on Jake Lindsey. And you know what? The entire event was absolute fire. So let's get at the results here. I'm going to start with the main event and work my way all the way down the entire main card and just give a brief summary of what happened in each fight. Let's go. So as mentioned, the main event at BKFC 49 was for the welterweight championship belt. Gogo Slaveski, now he went into this one 5-0 inside the squared circle, taking on Jake Lindsey, who was sitting at 4-0. What a crazy fight this was overall. Crazy opening round. Both men came out swinging. Lindsey, I found, turned it up in the second. He hurt Gogo a few times. Now the third, the momentum went back and forth. It was like a bloody seesaw. Jake's hand was absolutely destroyed. Bleeding, it was cut. I don't know if it was broken or if it was just a cut. No idea, but it looked fucking nasty. Didn't matter. He kept on throwing it. I don't know if that guy feels pain at all, to be honest. Now, fourth round was all go-go. He definitely got his second wind in that fourth round, and he turned it up beautifully. In the end, that might have even been what won him the fight, was that fourth round. Of course, the fifth and final round was another close one. In the end, Gogo Slaveski becomes the new welterweight champion. Unanimous decision, brings him to 6-0. Great performance by both fighters. I really hope David Feldman awards those guys Fight of the Night. I don't see why he wouldn't, but both men definitely deserve a bonus. The co-main event at BKFC 49 had Bryce Henry. He was sitting 2-0 going in here. He was taking on the veteran Tom Schoaf, who was 4-4. Now, this was a lightweight scrap. Big first round KO here from Bryce Henry. Absolutely destroyed Schoaf. Calls for Palomino. You know what, folks? Henry is the fucking future here. What is he, 22, 23 at the most? 3-0 now. He's staring straight down the fucking barrel of not only a title shot, but a title shot against what the rankings consider the number one pound for pound in Palomino. This is getting crazy, seeing this young talent coming in, and I absolutely fucking love it. Now, this is just my opinion. I don't think Schoaf was in this fight from the get-go. He didn't look like the fighter that he has previously. Honestly, I believe he's done bare knuckle. He said this was going to be his last fight, and I 100% believe him. So with that, Tom Schoaf, thank you for all your hard work and entertaining fight style. The feature fight at BKFC 49 in Miami, Florida, we had Brian Duran, who was 4-0 going in. He was taking on Dakota High Pine, who was 1-1. Now, this was a featherweight scrap. This was absolutely the Brian Duran show here, folks. The hometown kid absolutely outclassed his opponent. Scores the first round knockout. A nasty right hand opened up High Pine, and it was all over from there, folks. Duran now sits at 5-0. What's this kid got to do to get a fucking title shot? I mean, it's got to be coming. 5-0, and he's just out there destroying his opponents. You can't be feeding him 1-1 fighters anymore. It's time for a step up in competition for Brian Duran. Now, we also saw a bantamweight scrap here between Justin Ibarola, who was 1-0. He was taking on Anthony Foy, who was also 1-0 going into this one, so both undefeated. It was a fairly evenly matched scrap here. Neither fighter from what I saw, was really in any kind of trouble throughout the scrap. They did end up going the distance. Abarola nabs the unanimous decision, and I apologize if I'm butchering your name there. Justin nabs the unanimous decision, moves to 2-0 in what was a fairly impressive performance. BKFC 49 also played host to a bantamweight matchup between Alberto Blas. He was taking on Zhao Geha, who was making his debut. Alberto was going into this one undefeated at 2-0. And you know what, folks? Blas blew right through Geha. 2 quick knockdowns mixed with a questionable stoppage moves Alberto to 3-0. He looked damn good in front of the Miami crowd, to be honest. Gets the first round TKO. We also saw Howard Davis, yes, Howard H.D. Davis, who was 4-1 going into this one. He was taking on Jeff Schiffens, who was sat 3-5. Featherweight matchup here, and I was really looking forward to this one. Howard Davis has quickly become one of my favorite bare knuckle fighters, and this was exactly why. I mean, HD walks over Jeff here, scores his first round knockout. The sound of the uppercut that ended the fight was absolutely sickening. I mean, just disgusting sound. 5-1 now for HD Davis. So actually 5-1-1. He does have a draw in there. He seems to be improving with each outing here, and realistically, you cannot deny him a title shot for much longer either. I've said it with a few other fighters here that were on the card, but I mean, Howard Davis, same thing here. You gotta give him the competition that he deserves here. Now, of course, with Miami comes Joshua Fames. Yes, Joshua Fames was in action once again. 3-3 going into this one. He was taking on the newcomer Aaron Sutterfield, lightweight scrap. Now, Fames gets a huge KO win here. He was patient before delivering a fight-ending uppercut. And in the replay, it does look like an elbow was thrown by Fames just before the uppercut that ended the fight. It's impossible to tell from this angle that I'm showing. There was another angle that was briefly brought up on the screen, and it looked even more incriminating for Fames. Now, there was no protest by either side. The officials, nothing was said about the elbow at all. It's kind of like they wanted to bury that one under the carpet as quickly as possible. I don't know what to say there. I mean, it was clear that an elbow was thrown. Whether it actually landed, it's questionable. Either way, for now, Fames gets the first round KO win that he desperately needed. Now, BKFC 49 played host to one lone female fight here. It was a strawweight clash as Lady Mahia, who was making her debut, she was taking on Sarah Click, who was 0-2 inside the squared circle. Now, it is worth noting that Click did miss weight by a couple of pounds. Didn't get the backstory on that, whether it was just a tough weight cut. What really happened there, I don't know. It didn't matter. The fight went ahead. And you know what? It was a close fight. It really was. It was a close fight. Both gave their all in there. There's no doubt that they're both going to be sore for weeks to come. It looked like, I believe it was Sarah Click who more than likely had a broken hand. I mean, it was already all swollen up, and both girls tough as fucking nails out there. In the end, Lady Maya ends up winning her debut, taking the it was a split decision victory for Lady. Now, the opening bout at BKFC 49 was supposed to be the women's clash there in the strawweight division, but I don't know exactly what happened. They went overtime with their prelims, essentially, so one of the prelims got bumped up to the opening bout on the main card, and thank fuck it did, because wow, what a way to open up. We had James Hyder. He was taking on Rambo Russo, and I didn't get their I didn't even get their records going into this one because it wasn't a fight I expected to be covering. But like I say, I'm glad it did go on because Rambo went buck nutty and put Hyder down and out with a nasty right hook early on. It was done in the first, and it was an incredible performance by Rambo Russo. So hopefully he got even more eyes on him, being opening up the main card because there's no better way. I mean, honestly, if the way it worked out, if the women's fight had opened up the main card, it wouldn't have been nearly as entertaining of an opening as this James Hyder versus Rambo Russo. So congratulations to Rambo as he puts another tick in the win column there at BKFC 49. Just a couple of last notes here is from David Feldman, the president there. He made a couple of announcements. One, looks like Eddie Alvarez is looking for a fight. So obviously BKFC is going to give that to him. Now he said he's going to be matched up against one of the biggest dogs BKFC has, and the only biggest dog that I know of is Mike fucking Perry. So if they're working on Perry versus Alvarez, that's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. The other announcement was that Britain Hart is going to be back in action. She's going to defend her strawweight belt, I believe it is. She's going to be facing the Melanie Shaw, who recently fought and got a victory there. So awesome stuff. It's good to see Britain Hart's going to be back inside that squared circle. It's been a while, and I was actually just recently wondering like when her next fight is going to be because it's been so long. You see her there in the corners helping out at the BKFC events a lot, but it's time we see her back inside that squared circle. That was pretty much it for announcements from the president. Other than that, we've got a bit of a break here because the next event isn't till September 22nd, and it's a big one, folks. We got Lorenzo Hunt defending his belt against Chris Camozzi, and that one's going down in Denver, I believe. So exciting stuff coming up, and I'm sure that in these coming weeks, there's going to be some huge announcements by David Feldman and the BKFC crew because all signs are pointing to they're working on a ton of huge announcements, just waiting for it to be official now. Anyway, thanks for joining me here today on Quick Rip. Till next time, everybody, take care and peace.